True Sky, Ophiuchus. Welcome to your reading for the month of July. So currently we do still have the sun transiting the sign of True Sky Gemini. And for the transit, I'm using a few different decks that have like a fairy or fairy tale or folklore kind of theme. And the first deck I have here already spread out for you is the Mystic Fairy Tarot. So I've already cleansed the space and shuffled the cards. So on the bottom of the deck, we have the King of Wands. So there could be an underlying energy this month for you involving a King of Wands character or involving energies about King of Wands energies. So leadership potential, fiery, passionate leadership potential. If it's an individual, they could be of the fire signs or fire houses or the significant ruling planets of the fire signs in their chart. And they would be potentially, say, 30 plus in age, definitely mature energies. So it's quite an interesting reading. Your central card for the month is the 10 of Cups. So this month for you is very crucial for your emotional nourishment and also your emotional satisfaction as well. So that is the central theme, which is interesting because Ophiuchus is an unusual sign. So some say that it has the qualities of ether or aether, which is like a spiritual element. It's like the fifth element. And some say that it really fits more into the kind of Scorpio energies, but with that Sagittarian influence as well. So it's kind of like, I guess you could say when you add water and fire together, you kind of do get air, but it's more that steam. So interesting that your central card is a water card. The first card, however, for you is the Four of Wands. So this month there could be a really significant energy around what is home for you, home, family, could be like a family reunion. You could end up spending more time at home or with family this month than at other times. It's definitely got a real significance being the first card here. And it's next to the crowning card, and the crowning card is Temperance. So this is all about balancing your energies and being moderate. So obviously, if you are spending a lot of time at home, make sure that you are still getting enough, exercise or socialization or whatever it is that you need, as well as that energy. Then you have, after the Temperance, you have the Star. So this card is all about wishes, hopes and wishes. So the energy is that you may have been through some hard times recently, and now you're actually at a stage where you can think about the positive things in your life and what it is that you would like in your life. So make sure you balance this wishful thinking though. And then also interesting, we have the Seven of Wands underneath the Four of Wands. So there's quite a bit of fiery energy there. So the Seven of Wands is that energy of like feeling like a bit defensive, feeling as though you need to stand up for your beliefs. It's a very busy card. It's quite demanding, it's got a lot of energy, but it's also quite positive because it is more about like defending yourself, holding your own space, being controlling but over your own territory, and also very determined energy as well. So it's also very protective. So potentially this could even be why you're spending a lot of time at home, because you might be feeling quite challenged this month. Then here we have the Seven of Cups, which I think is really interesting that we have it with the Star. And I was thinking about the potential with Temperance and the Star of making sure you balance out these wishes and hopes. And then the Seven of Cups really does kind of indicate that there's a lot of wishful thinking going on here. There could be many options that you're pondering this month, and it might be really hard for you to actually make a decision on things. You might find that you're dreaming and daydreaming a lot, and you might be actually wishing for things that maybe might even be a little bit impossible, or maybe being drawn to things that maybe aren't so good for you as well. So be aware of that energy. Obviously a little bit of daydreaming is not a bad thing, and wishful thinking, but just I think the energy with the Star as well, which really does, it brings it up though. The Star is a very positive card, so it does bring that energy up, but that also does clarify to me that there could be a lot of that going on, the wishful thinking. Then we have the Three of Pentacles here. So this is all about collaborating with others, self-mastery, and, you know, stepping into a direction which could involve you working with others that are also of a similar kind of mind, but helping each other to really refine what it is you've got going on. And then here with this Seven of Wands, this could be where this challenging energy comes from. It may even be a working relationship, or you're feeling a bit protective and challenged. The base of the matter for you for this month is the King of Pentacles. So this could be someone in your life this month. They could be of the earth signs or earth houses, or the ruling planets of the earth signs significant in their chart. Say, you know, 30 plus, could be a masculine, but doesn't have to be. But they definitely have those leadership masculine traits, but with the earth energy. So very abundant, very grounded, very stable, maybe not so emotional or even intellectual, very practical kind of person. And this is linked in here with this 10 of Cups here. So this will bring a lot of emotional fulfillment for you this month, these energies. Even if this is not someone, it may just be aspects in your life that you're taking on at this time. And it's going to really help you emotionally as well. Then you have the Queen of Cups, which could be you. It is that water. It is a feminine, and it's of the water signs or houses or significant ruling planets from the water in their chart, water rulers. She, if it doesn't have to be a female, but has the feminine characteristics, so she will have more gentle, nurturing, emotional type of leadership energies here. And will probably be of that, 30 plus age range if it's an individual. Otherwise, it could just be about you learning more empathic, compassionate kind of energies in your life. And this situation with you learning all this wishes and choices and potential illusions and delusions could even help you develop these traits, or could be linked to this individual here. But also this individual or traits are often linked to this 10 of Cups, this emotional satisfaction, and the home as well is linked in there. So the next cards I'm going to use are the Victorian Fairy Tarot. And on the bottom of the deck, interestingly, we do have the 10 of Summer. So the 10 of Summer is like your 10 of Cups. So having the 10 of Cups energy to clarify the King of Wands, potentially if this is an individual in your life, they might bring some of this emotional nourishment and, you know, satisfaction in your life this month. It really is such a positive card, the 10 of Cups. So yeah, this could be a love situation, but it doesn't have to be. It could be family. It could even be business. And if it's not an individual, it could just be that those leadership, passionate energies will bring you that emotional satisfaction. So within yourself. So for the Four of Wands, the clarification is the Six of Spring, which is like your Six of Wands. So the Six of Wands is a very positive. It's a card of victory and success, but it's also a card of, you know, not just something that you experience. It's also something that's celebrated from the larger world around you. So this, interestingly, though, is to clarify that card of home and family. So there could be something in your family or your home that you're celebrating a victory for, success for this month. Maybe it could be a new home or something to do with a home or family. Could even be a new arrival. So we have for the Temperance card, we have the Five of Summer. So the Five of Summer is like your Five of Cups. So the Five of Cups does have an energy of sadness and loss and, you know, a potential, I mean, there could be guilt or mourning or that kind of thing associated with it. So the Temperance card here, to clarify, is really telling me that maybe there is some significant loss that you have experienced recently or this month. And just be aware that don't get too lost in that energy. So the Temperance is always about finding your balance. So if there is some significant loss, yeah, don't let it like pull your whole world apart, you know. Obviously make space for that, and everyone's experience of mourning is very personal and very private, and I mean everyone does it differently. Some people are more public even, but yeah, just make sure that you're not putting too much of your energy into that feeling this month. Then you also have for the Star card, interestingly, the clarifying card is the Burning Oak. So this is a card like your Tower card. So having the Star with a Tower card energy does suggest that there's going to be really significant change this month, and that maybe even these wishes and hopes that you had will change because of some event that happens. That could be quite catastrophic, could be quite, you know, revolutionary in your life. Like it really throws everything upside down and you have to kind of really almost start from not nothing, but you have to kind of reevaluate. And these wishes and hopes may really come into the forefront to help you get through this change. Then for the Seven of Wands, which was that defensive energy, feeling challenged, but not in a bad way. Like you don't feel like you'll be defeated. You feel like you can stand up for yourself. You have the Four of Winter, which is like the Four of Swords. So this card suggests that it's going to be a really good time for you to rest and recuperate. You really need to put aside time, even if it's just like going to bed a bit earlier than normal, or you know, resting your mind if maybe you're overdoing it, like taking a break, or, you know, even physically, you know, if you're overdoing it, not pushing yourself too much. So this is definitely to do with this defensive energy, which maybe might make you want to push yourself more because you're feeling that way, but it's really suggesting that you kind of let your nervous system relax and de-stress this month. So maybe it could even be like taking a relaxing bath, or depending on obviously your situation, if there's any nutrients maybe you could take, or herbs or something to help your nervous system, could be helpful as well. Especially because the Seven of Wands could be spiking your cortisol, that kind of energy. So you could always look into, you know, how to help with that. Then for the Ten of Cups, the central card for you for the month, we do have the Herald of winter. So the Herald is like the page in this deck, and the Winter is like the swords. So this is your Page of Swords. So this Ten of Cups with the Page of Swords is kind of making me think that potentially this Page of Swords could be a child. And that could even be what's going on here with the Four of Wands and Six of Spring, which was the Wands as well. So the Ten of Cups can be linked to family, like a happy, emotionally, complete family, very, very in balance, and often there are children involved in the situation, and the pages can be children. And the fact that we are right now, the sun is traveling through True Sky Gemini, which is an air sign, could even mean maybe this child is born in this early part of the month, and that would make them, a bit of the Swords energy because of the Gemini energy there. And also Mercury is in Gemini as well. And then that could be about this celebration of this family. It might not be that though. So if you're not expecting a child, even if the child were to be born in the later part of the month, they could still have significant air in their chart, or air-ruled planets significant in their chart. But yeah, even if it's not a child, it could just be that there are new ideas this month, new intellectual ideas associated with this emotional fulfillment. So you might even find that, there's something you're doing and you've realized, actually, that doesn't make me as happy as I thought it did, but this will, or maybe this will, or, trying different things, especially because we do have that Seven of Cups energy, which is a little bit all over the place, but it's very dreamy and it's all about lots of options. And that is clarified by the Three of Spring, which is your Three of Wands. And that's actually a really positive card to have as a confirmation, because the Three of Spring is a very expansive card. It can even suggest travel or even foreign, like overseas. It definitely has that, spreading your wings energy, and it's very confident and positive. So that will really help, I think, to dispel some of the kind of illusionary energies that the Seven of Cups can have, because it will kind of get you out of yourself and trying new things, and that will really help you in learning, what works and what doesn't. With the Three of Pentacles, the clarifying card we have for you is the Chariot. So once again, it's another travel card. The Chariot can represent a vehicle, and it can represent travel. I wouldn't say, generally it's overseas, but it can be long distance. Often it's just, shorter distance. But having the Three of Pentacles could definitely signify that this travel is linked with like an apprenticeship or a new job or something you're working on, that this travel is linked with. And it's definitely a really good card for victory in general. So, however, it's very much about making sure that you are the one in the kind of hot seat in your life. You're the one holding the reins and guiding your life, leading your life in the direction that you want it to go. And that's very much linked here with the Three of Pentacles, which is that collaborating with others. Then for the King of Pentacles, you have the Hanged Fairy, which is like your hanged man. So even though there is this energy of this really stable, abundant leadership energy here, the Hanged Fairy is saying that there's some kind of sacrifice that needs to be made. For things to keep moving, you will need to sacrifice something. And it could even be, just the feeling I have here is that it could be resources, because obviously the king has a lot. And then this situation of this potential collaboration or business, the travel, even these new ideas, you may need to really put these resources into these things to get them going anywhere. And obviously, that is a sacrifice. You can't have both, like have, your cake and eat it as well. You know what I mean? I mean, you can, but once you eat it, it's gone. You don't really have it anymore. So that's the kind of energy I'm getting here. Then here we have the Queen of Cups. You have the 10 of Spring to clarify. So the Spring cards are the Wands card. So the 10 of Wands is a very busy card. It says that you've been doing a lot. And this may have been even why you have learnt these gentler, compassionate energies, because of all this work you've been doing. In fact, you've probably been overworking yourself. So be aware, and it may even feel like you are getting nothing back from all that hard work you've put into this situation. But it's obviously been teaching you about, I think, self-care. That's the feeling I'm getting here, is that this situation, really, you need to learn how important it is to care for yourself, you know, because if you let yourself down by overworking yourself and then you burn out and then you can't do things that you need to do, you know what I mean? So you really need to make sure that you are nourishing yourself, and that includes emotionally as well, or just being gentle with yourself as well. Obviously, working's important, but just to try not to overdo it there. The next cards I'm going to pull from are the magical messages from the fairies. And interesting, on the bottom of the deck we have for you, new home. Moving is a step in the right direction for you. So I was picking up on that earlier with the 4 of Wands and the 6 of Spring. So if that is you, congratulations. If you're moving, it looks like it's going to be the right fit for you. The first card, however, we have for you is admit your true feelings to yourself. Be honest with yourself. Only you know what it is that you truly desire. And this is for the Temperance with the 5 of Cups there. Then we have practice. With daily practice, you can polish your skills and talents and increase your confidence. So this one is about this 10 of Cups with the Page of Swords. So whatever it is, this new intellectual ventures, keep practicing, you know, try to do a bit every day. And then we have, for the base of the matter, we have be yourself. This situation calls for you to be your authentic self, which is the basis for your personal power. So this is to do with this King of Pentacles with the Hanged Fairy, or the Hanged Man. The next deck I'm going to pull from is the Fairies Oracle. It's the Froud one. So on the bottom of the deck we have the Lady of the Harvest, number 18. She represents completion, grief, loss, harvest, and release. It is time to accept change, to move on to the next phase. Power and strength in the present and future come from releasing the past. This is a time of liberation, and we might as well cooperate with it. It will happen, whether we want it to or not. Release and liberation may be painful or joyful, depending on the circumstances. Cry if you need to. Be joyful if that is appropriate. But in either case, trust the process. Acknowledge what you feel and be prepared to move on. So the first card for you, however, your crowning card, is actually the Singers of Courage. Then you have He of the Fiery Sword and the Fee Lion. So the Singers of Courage is your crowning card, and they represent bravery, sublimation of fear, and moral strength. Most people have decided by the age of 3 or 4 what they must do in order to survive. From this decision, this belief about how the world is, most of our fears and self-limitations grow. Have we the courage to discover and break through these limiting beliefs, awaken to greater possibilities, and go for our objectives? We need to transcend our fears and accept the gift of courage. And that was about admitting your true feelings to yourself. And the central card for you is He of the Fiery Sword, which represents the active principle, spiritual will, justice, and protection. The presence of the Fiery Sword's master in a reading can indicate that there is a need for clear and focused will and a determination to carry through on decisions, even if much effort is required. Or he can tell us that such will and strength is present in regard to the issues under consideration. We need to consider how he is expressing his will and strength and how that expression may be enhanced or improved. In this, the singer's energy enables us to burst the bonds of an outgrown way of being and move on to the next level. He indicates that it is time to take action based on clear spiritual will. His presence indicates great strength and great potential for good. It also reminds us that if we call upon him, we will receive assistance. The presence of this card in a reading radiates strength and willpower to the cards around it. So that's lovely as a central card. And then the base of the matter is the feline, and the feline actually symbolizes getting it right, delayed completions, and tidying up loose ends. The feline looks out of his card accusingly, reminding us of things undone, promises unkept, and duties unfulfilled. He says that we can't expect to have things go right when we are trailing so much unfinished business behind us. Dragging that stuff around tires us. It uses up energy that we need for other things. If we would just take care of these things that cause so much mental and sometimes physical clutter, we would suddenly find that we have a lot more energy at our disposal to do the things that we really want to do, and probably much more cooperation from others as well. He especially suggests that we take care of the little things that matter to others. We will feel so much better when we have done that, and so will he. And that's about the be yourself energy. So interesting. The next cards I have for you are the Fairy Ring Oracle cards. On the bottom of the deck, I have the Fairy Horse and the Kelpie. So this is like the shadow underlying energy of this deck for you for the month. When the fairy horse appears upright in your cards, he indicates movement and travel, journeying to new places and new experiences. He is the harbinger of good health, vitality, energy, and innovation. Events will move quickly and rapid progress will be made. That's interesting. We've had a few cards about travel and journeying in this reading, so that could be significant this month for you, Ophiuchus. So the first card, however, is Fairy Festival in bulk at the crown, Queen Marb, Queen of Winter at the center, and 8 of Spring Billy Winker at the base of the matter. So the crowning card of Imbolc represents potent energies of resurgence, purification, freshness, originality, and new beginnings. So there's a bit of that new beginnings energy as well this reading. The central card, the Queen of Winter, Queen Mab, is actually she is here to deliver dreams, wishes, and longings as yet unfulfilled, but also new ideas, insights, creativity, fertility, and inspiration to help you fulfill your dreams. Dare to dream and dare to live the dream. Don't let others deflect you from what you truly want. Wow, some of these words have come up so many times this reading. Queen Mab may indicate a real woman in your life. She's dreamy, artistic, feminine, and reflective. She's friendly, but in a lazy sort of way. You will have to make all the effort in a relationship with her. So, and that's linked to He of the Fiery Sword. Wow, okay. Then we have the 8 of Spring, Billy Winker. So he heralds recuperation, convalescence from illness, or the end of some trouble that has been worrying you. He indicates a period of rest and relaxation, perhaps a holiday. So fascinating. So the journey and the holiday has come up a bit too. But then the feline is saying, don't forget these untied ends. Because if you do go away and you haven't completed something, it will clutter up your rest and your holiday with worry about whatever it is you've left behind. So remember that too. The next cards I have for you are the Fairy Tale Lenormand, and on the bottom of the deck I do have the anchor. So the underlying energy is the anchor. So that's all about stability, which is really at odds with what we've had because it's been a lot of travel cards, but we did get the home. We have had some home energies as well. So the first card we have is the heart. So that is linked with love, and that's for this in bulk. So that was about a new beginning and change. So there may be some new situation in love. It could still be with the same person. It's just like a new phase of a relationship, or it could be a new relationship here. Interesting with the coffin reversed. So to me, this is saying that, you know, whatever is ending or ending, whatever was ending or will end, will free you. It doesn't have as much of a negative energy being in the reverse here. So it doesn't signify death so much, which it doesn't have to anyway. But being in the reverse definitely gives me the energy that it's like an undoing of whatever it was that was stagnant or not working out. Then we have the stork. So the stork is linked to fertility. So I'm not sure where you're at with these things, but the Billy Winker was suggesting convalescence after an illness. Potentially it could have been like infertility you were experiencing maybe, and then this card is actually saying that that will be restored. It doesn't have to be, but the stork is often linked to. So the anchor with the heart does suggest that you are finding security in love, or you're holding on to a relationship. The anchor with the coffin suggests that you've been stuck in your grief and you've been finding it really hard to let go of loss. And I know that many Lenormand readers say that the reversals don't count, but to me, I feel it does give a different energy. Even just the look of the card itself, to me, has a lot lighter feeling in the reverse. I feel like it's saying to me that that is passing, that you may have been stuck in your grief and you may have been really finding it hard to let go of this loss, but that's kind of been undone now, and that you will actually find that this month you'll be able to move on from that. And then with the stork, it says that the anchor with the stork is about transformation and change and a focus on movement, which is very interesting because we've had a lot of travel cards come up this reading. And similarly, the coffin with the heart suggests that there's an ending of love, an ending of compassion, and there's a grief about a lost love. So that could definitely be the case, but I do feel like that has ended now. You've obviously gone through some kind of grieving process, or you will be this month, and that this month will really help to close that up for you. And then for the coffin with the stork, it suggests that it's an end of transformation, and that transformation is dealing with grief. So I would say, yeah, once again, that it's closing up this month, and you might actually really find that your grief is really transformed this month, and you are in the process of moving on from it. So these are the cards that I have for you this month, Ophiuchus. I hope you have a fantastic month ahead, and the general astrological musings for the month I like to do at the end of the reading. So currently we do have, the sun in true sky Gemini, which wouldn't really be doing much with the Ophiuchian energies. However, we do have that Uranus and Mars thing going on. So I don't think the Uranus is exactly opposing Ophiuchus yet. It will eventually. But we did have like the Tower card energies come up. So depending on what part of Ophiuchus you're in, because obviously Ophiuchus is such a tiny, I think it's the smallest sign that the sun goes through. So eventually that Uranus will oppose Ophiuchus, and it's getting close. I don't think it's quite there yet. I think it's still opposing Scorpio. However, it doesn't mean you might not feel it just because it's not close. Sometimes you can feel things, even if they're like some, over 3 degrees or whatever, like it can still be felt. However, Mars, which was conjoining that Uranus point in the sky, has moved on and will continue to move on, and in fact it will oppose the Ophiuchian sign this month. So potentially that energy could be challenging. Then you also have there's some positive energies too. It's not all obviously negative here, and it is tricky when it comes to because Ophiuchus is like this little sign, so obviously when it's going to really aspect it will be really significant. Currently Saturn could be trining your Ophiuchian placements, which I got a little bit of that energy this reading because of, I think the anchor made me think of Saturn, and even at the base of the matter with the King of Pentacles. So Saturn traditionally was that god of agriculture and wealth. He was a god of wealth, and I mean this King of Pentacles is, he's the king of basically wealth, really. So yeah, that's being like that base energy there, and obviously being a trine, it's going to be strong, but it's not like a conjunction or something. And then also we do have that Mercury retrograde. I don't really see, that aspecting your Ophiuchian placements or anything, but depending on your whole chart, it could be aspecting something in your chart. And also you could just look to the house that it's occurring in to see kind of what area it might be affecting for you. But yeah, we have the Mercury retrograde until and that's in Gemini, until the 23rd of July. The Sun moves into true sky Cancer around the 17th. And maybe you might find that things are a bit better after then. However, I don't think it will actually trine your sign until later on. So Cancer's a really small sign too. But yeah, I don't think, it could be the end of this month, depending on, yeah, you'd have to look at the details, but it could be next month more so, like early. And then we have the Neptune retrograde is starting on the 7th of July, so that could definitely bring some confusing kind of energies. We did have a bit of maybe too much wishful thinking could be this month for you, which may be that Neptune retrograde energy there. And then we do still have the Pluto retrograde as well, so that could also be, depending on, obviously look at what house it's in for you, and it could be aspecting other things in your chart as well. We have the new moon on the 14th of July, here where I am at least. So depending on where you are, it could be not the 14th. You'd have to look at your time zone. And that's in Gemini. And then we have the full moon on the 30th here where I am, and that is in Capricorn, true sky, and the Sun will be in true sky Cancer for that full moon coming up, the end of the month. So yeah, I hope you have a fantastic month, and if you have made it this far and you've got something out of it, or it was just entertaining or interesting to you, if you could comment if you have any comments. I always appreciate comments, and or subscribe if you haven't already. If you already have, thank you so much for being a part of my channel, and maybe share the reading if it's relevant to others, if you know other Ophiuchians, or if you've got an Ophiuchian group or something. I know it's a bit of an unusual sign, and I do like to address it. I personally have one of my children is an Ophiuchian, so yeah, so it's definitely an interesting sign, and yeah, so take care, and I'll be back again soon. Okay, bye.